Hey folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's live trading action video. My name is Gareth Soloway. Today's date is Wednesday, January 28th, 2015. In this video today, we're going to dissect the three big companies reporting earnings today. There are a lot of earnings being reported, but these three are the main ones. Number one, Facebook. Number two, Qualcomm. And number three is WYNN Resorts. Qualcomm and Facebook, probably the most important. WYNN Resorts is just an intriguing play to look at. So what I want to do here is dissect each chart, just give you guys my general analysis, just so you go know and understand. I am not long or short any of these plays going into earnings. I don't really believe in buying right before earnings, even if I see a good setup on the chart. So really the key to me is more just looking for a variable signal and then watching the reaction and can play that reaction off of it. All right, but again, a lot of people always ask me, what do you think Facebook's going to do on earnings? What do you think Qualcomm's going to do? So let's dissect. All right, so right away, the first thing that draws my attention is the trend line. If you take the former pivot right here to this pivot right here, that is a very important trend line. Also, there's a secondary trend line that's right in that same area. So this is your major support on Facebook. So the first thing to note is that if Facebook starts coming down on earnings, you want to see if it holds the $73.50 to $74 level. That's a major level, $73.50 to $74. All right, if it breaks that level, you're going to go straight to this double bottom right here. Okay, so right in this area, which is a pierce of the 200. All right, so again, I repeat, if you break $73.50 to $74, you're going to head straight down to the $70 even number. $70 even number is going to be the key level there. That should hold. I cannot see us getting below $70 on earnings, even if they are bad on Facebook. Okay, next what we want to look at is the upside. What are your upside levels? Really, there's just one simple level. You have a minor level right here, which is pretty inconsequential, which is $78.35. If that breaks, you have a good shot at hitting a double top right up here. Very clear double top, and that again is right around that $81 to $82 area. All right, so again, upside resistance is 81 to 82. Downside support is 73.50 to 74, and then if that breaks, $70. So now we have both sides of the coin. We have the upside, the downside. Now, what is the chart telling me here? Well, based on where the chart's actually currently trading, I am slightly negative. I'd give this a slight, ever so slight negative bias on earnings, just ever so slight downside bias. So again, take it for what it's worth. That's what the charts are showing me. All right, let's go into the next chart here on Qualcomm's QCOM. Qualcomm, notice this first thing jumps out at me right here. We are trading below these two moving averages and below the 200. So right away, that's a little bit on the bearish side. The chart is trading on a downward, so you have this pivot high to this low, and this is all inside action. So believe it or not, this is a slight bearish pattern, or in spirit of bear flag. So that's giving us a little bit of potential downside bias. And again, we've seen this chart be very weak. Let me just zoom out on the chart. Yeah, I mean, right now, I agree. So support line, so you have a little bit of support right here, very minor support right here around the $70 level, and then at 68 is your secondary support. So those are your two support levels. Resistance, obviously, you have the 200 MA right here, and a little pivot top, so that's number one on resistance, and then number two on resistance is right here. All right, so number two is 78. So 76 is number one resistance, 78 is number two. I don't see it getting above 78 on earnings, even if they're spectacular. Downside support, I think it could break first support here, but I think 68 would be the max downside on earnings. And again, my overall, so here's two supports, two resistance levels for earnings, and also the bearish pattern gives me a slight negative bias going into earnings on Qualcomm. Lastly, let's take a look at WYNN Resorts here, guys. WYNN Resorts reporting earnings after the bell today. Stock's been absolutely annihilated from $250 to basically $150. You are coming off the lows here, all right? And again, you can see here, chopping sideways off of this bottoming tail. So you had a bottoming tail right here. You moved up. Now you've chopped sideways. You've started to break out. You went into the 50. Now you're consolidating. Believe it or not, this is not a bad chart. One of the reasons I like it is if you take these highs right across here. Look at this. All right, so take these highs and notice how price is staying above that general breakout line. Even though the 50 MA is putting some pressure on it, you're still staying above that. So this actually could trade up a little bit on earnings. I'd give it a slight positive bias, not overwhelming, since again it's already rallied from this low in the past week or so up. So it's not an overwhelming positive bias, but a slight positive bias. Upside max is going to be right here. This is your upside maximum level. Short-term resistance is obviously the 50 MA, but assuming we can get through it, your max upside is going to be 168 to 169, which is about that's about 13 to 14 to 15 bucks upside there, depending on where we close today. Downside support, very clear right here. the open of this candle of the bottoming tail or the close right there, and these pivot lows right here, that's support 1. And then if we really break down on this, let's say earnings are surprisingly negative, eventually this is your target. I don't think it gets there today, but the 121 to 122 level is going to be a huge level. But again, so you have here's resistance 1 is the 50, which is just minor. Resistance 2 is big. Then support, you're going to have support 1 right here at around 138 to 139, and support number 2 around 122. I do not think support 2 gets hit today. I think if the earnings are bad, that'll be eventually hit in the next week or two, but I don't think short term. And again, I'm giving this chart a small positive bias. So the first two were small negative bias charts that have potential to trade down a little bit, and this WYNN Resorts chart is a small positive bias. All right, guys, be fun to see how these trade out. Ultimately, I would say Facebook's the biggest name out there today, and tomorrow we have Google and Amazon. Those should be monstrous ones as well. All right, enjoy. Come join us here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. Already in the intraday stock chat today, made over $2,000 with members. All right, and again, that was on 5 day trades in the morning session. Yesterday, I made over $5,000 on 4 day trades. It's been amazing day trading action. In the swing trade arena, there are new trades being alerted pretty much every single day. Come join the Research Center for swing trades. And again, swing trades you hold for a few days to a few weeks, ultimately looking for a 10%-ish move, give or take a little bit. Federal Reserve will be giving their FOMC statements shortly. We'll get some movement on the markets. And again, come join us here at InTheMoneyStocks.com.